Good evening. In tonight's programme, we once again report on the case of the North Cork 10 and their continuing fight for justice. In our last programme, we followed Religious Abuse Truth and the International Tribunal into Crimes of Church and State when they took their vigil to the offices of the DPP in the centre of Dublin. Tonight we report on the latest leg of their campaign for justice in the heart of the Diocese of Clyne. We sent our religious affairs correspondent, Gerry to cover their two-day vigil on the streets of Cork.
The North Cork 10 are a group of 10 women who were all abused by a particular priest in the Diocese of Clyne called Father B. These victims have had apologies from the church for their abuse and have been compensated. Of the 9 files concerning these victims sent to the Director of Public Prosecution so far, not one charge has been brought against Father B. The DPP has been urged by the Rape Crisis Centre and the State Solicitor to meet with the victims to explain why he won't prosecute child abuser Father B, but the DPP so far has refused. Members of Religious Abuse Truth and the International Tribunal into Crimes of Church and State have also written to the DPP to ask why a paedophile found guilty by the Church is not being prosecuted by the DPP. In the DPP's reply, these groups have been told that they were breaking the law by writing to the DPP on a case that does not concern them. RAT and the ITCCS held a vigil outside the DPP's office in Dublin on behalf of the North Cork 10 earlier this month, and now today and tomorrow they are in Cork to continue this vigil for justice. The vigil will be held in the city centre at Dawn Square on today, Saturday the 15th of January. On tomorrow, Sunday the 16th of January, the vigil will continue outside the Commons Inn on the Mallow Road, where all the priests of Clyne were invited by Archbishop of Cashel and Emily, Dermot Clifford, to partake in a psychotherapy session with a clinical psychologist from UCD, to prepare them for the publication of the Clyne report. It has been reported in the national press today that the victims of the Clyne Diocese are outraged that they too were not invited to partake in this psychotherapy session to prepare them. Thanks very much, Dave. That's what's happening in Cork at the moment.
Support the North Cork 10. Justice for the women who were abused by a priest, and he's getting away with it. Justice for the North Cork 10. Are you interested? Would you like to hear? So this is a letter that we wrote. We thought that the Pope would have more of a crisis in here, so I wasn't thanking him. Since this letter, if we all got letters back saying it could be breaking the law, you know, they're walking into him, and you know, that he's top of the walk, and you know, and they're untouchable. Yes, he's untouchable, and they're suffering, and this is what we're trying to put a stop to. Good luck. Thank you very much, and thanks for listening. Bye bye. Bye, Debbie.
I won't tell you no.
Trucks and speeders, and bankers.
Best of luck anyway.
God bless, thank you.
Huh? Oh, I know.
We think it's pressure coming from on high on our government. That's what we reckon is happening. Supporting these women. There were 11, weren't there, Kevin? Yeah. And one poor lady died. Yeah, her parents went down to her tenants in there. And the family were not
Hello, Kevin. You're down in Cork today. Can you tell us why you're here, Kev?
We're in Cork today in support of the North Cork 10. The North Cork 10 are 10 women who are being abused by a father B, which is being hidden and supported by Bishop John McGee. We came down here today to try and get support to give out information on this case. We've just been read today in the paper also that the Diocese of Bishop Clifford, who gave these women an apology, has employed a clinical psychologist to come down from Dublin tomorrow.
From UCD, is it?
From UCD to show the bishops how to handle this.
The trauma of the crime report.
Of the abuse.
And what about the victims?
Now, the problem is these people are not traumatised. These bishops don't care. All that's being done here is for the church. This is all. From the day one of the child abuse issue in 2001, it's all about the cover up of the church. Now, there's nothing about the victims. We have 10 women walking around Mallow. We also have Father B walking around Mallow. And only the other day, Father B turned around and said that he was being traumatised by people talking about his case, that he was innocent. This man is not innocent. There is oceans and oceans of evidence against this man. Evidence that even the police and the Director of Public Prosecutions have been surprised that this case was thrown out by the DPP. We in RA and we in
ITCCS
are getting on board this case for one reason and one reason only. We have to get justice here for these women. We have to bring this case out. And I have a message straight and clear for Father B, for Bishop John McGee, for Bishop Clifford, who we will be protesting outside the hotel tomorrow, and we have one clear message for them. Put their hands up and come out and tell the truth. The only way these women can get justice, because it seems that they're not going to get it from the DPP, is that if Father B stands up and admits what he's done. Now he's been hiding. Now I'd just like to read out a letter that was sent by both groups to the DPP. In the last week, the Director of Public Prosecution has dropped charges of child abuse against a priest in the Cloyne diocese, and also declined to press charges against John McGee, the former Bishop of Cloyne, for his role in not acting accordingly and ethically with complaints of child abuse when priests in his parish were brought to his attention. Mr McGee has admitted the offences due to the failure of the DPP to prosecute now to get away with them. The argument that is feasibility of proof beyond reasonable doubt is ringing rather hollow in the light of this admission. In not acting to prevent further foreseeable abuse, Mr McGee acted irresponsible and cold-heartedly towards innocent children and we are requesting that the Director of Public Prosecution look at this case again and seriously reconsider the decision not to prosecute Mr McGee. At present, the victims of this abuse have little or no justice and is allowing Mr McGee to get away with his crimes. Paedophile Roman Catholic clergy in the Republic of Ireland that they are safe from any legal consequences. We are putting trust in the DPP to make the right decision. And I just have a message for the Minister for Justice, if he gets to hear this, or anybody that's involved in the client report, that unless there's justice in this case, we don't want any client report. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kevin.
As we now know, Day 2 of the vigil was called off due to the last minute cancellation of the psychotherapy session for the priests. This move took everybody by surprise and has left many questions unanswered. I'm joined now by Gerry O'Donovan, who's outside the Commons Inn Hotel in Cork. Gerry, what was this psychotherapy session to entail?
Well, Dave, this psychotherapy session was according to Bishop Clifford in a letter sent to all the priests of the Diocese of Clyne to achieve the following, and I quote Bishop Clifford: "We may prepare ourselves personally for the publication of the report and what strategies we might adopt on the day of its publication and immediately afterwards."
Okay, so why was it cancelled?
According to the press, it was due to the outrage of the victims as published in Saturday's newspapers and the pressure brought to bear by Religious Abuse Truth and the International Tribunal into Crimes of Church and State, the support groups featured in this report.
So what are the thoughts of the groups now that there was no show by the church?
Well, Dave, interesting. They had several questions that they would have liked to ask Bishop Clifford, such as: who is going to personally prepare the victims for their trauma on the release of this report? Who is going to discuss what strategies these brave women will use when the horrors of their abuse by the Roman Catholic Church is unleashed on the public at large? Why is Archbishop Clifford using our money collected off of us in churches around our diocese to pay for a clinical psychologist to prepare the agents of the Vatican for something that they already know about? And who is going to pay to prepare the victims for a public airing of their abuse?
Well, Gerry, this looks like another farcical twist in the fight for justice for the North Cork 10.
It is indeed, Dave, but I'm assured by RAT and the ITCCS that this vigil will continue for as long as it takes to get the justice that these women have waited patiently for most of their lives for from this state. Good night from Cork, Dave.
Thank you, Gerry. So there you have it. It seems the case of the North Cork 10 has been firmly placed on the national agenda. That has been our world today. Until the next time, good night.
Support the North Cork